morning, good evening. So today will mark the last sharing for the career as we also move on to using QiMen for career choices. Right, so last week we referred to plotting the QiMen chart in order to get answers about the working environment, about the job prospects, about how or whether the person will likely succeed in a job. But today is about execution. So execution is not about asking for outcome, not about pondering whether the work environment will be favorable or otherwise. Here, we refer to using QiMen to make it happen, using QiMen to strategize. So usually, as we come to use QiMen, especially for some of you where this is completely new or relatively a very complicated subject for beginners. And of course, if you want to simplify matters, as we often do, as we start from the beginning. Now, the three most auspicious doors will be the life door, the open door, and the rest door. And so, without going too deep into it, these three doors are more often than not favorable. So they are mostly auspicious. So if anything, they are mostly auspicious. So whenever they are auspicious, usually they can be used to activate. Now, for example, if let's say, what I would normally do as well is, if let's say, for example, early in the morning at 9 o'clock, or early in the morning before you're at the office or you are in the meeting room. And here, straight up. Now let's just forget about that red circle. So let's say here, right now, you are in a room. So let's say right now you're in a room. This is a residential house. But if let's say we take this to be right now the meeting room. As you take it to be the meeting room in the office, and this place represents the room. And for simplicity, we take it similar to the chart that we are facing south. And so in the traditional Chinese metaphysics, the direction that points upwards is often south. And therefore, that would be here representing the east. And then, of course, here representing the west, as then we point towards north. All right, so now in this context here, we refer to the chart and we ask ourselves, where is the life door? Where do you find the life door? You can find that the life door is situated at the east. At the east. So it's situated at the east, and at the east and the Chenkwa. We can also see that if you use the app that we have introduced much earlier in our previous sharing. So this app can be free and to download, and we plot the immediate chart. So as we plot the immediate chart here, and it appears that the meeting is about to start. And this meeting is important for you. And it doesn't matter. I mean, for me, when I do facilitation or teaching or training, we will not consider to plot us before at the time to plot where the live door is. And if the live door at that moment is situated at the east direction, so what would be the best place for you is to put yourself into this position. That is east. Therefore, your eyes facing your body, facing. So your body, those are your shoulders and your head. Your body faces towards the direction to which your back is the eastern direction, to eastern direction. And so you can then start from that direction. So you can start from that direction. To start from that direction also means that if this is a meeting, you shall then be situated there. Meaning to say that if let's say this is a desk where everyone else is situated, Therefore, you plonk yourself at the eastern direction, where the east is at the back of you. Right? Therefore, this would be the beginning of how you may want to use the life door. To use the life door. So the life door is generally auspicious. The life door is generally by far auspicious. And what is it used for? It's just used for general. So it's just used for general. So they are highly auspicious, and as it represents wealth. So therefore, the life door represents wealth. So it pertains to survival, growth, development, and so it would be favorable for seeking. It will be good for the overall. So at all times, you can always just look at the life door. Just look at the life door and activate it more often than not. But of course, when we go deeper and deeper, there are always increasing layers. Now, the increasing layers now would be, what would be the element for the life door? The element for the life door is, as far as it sits on the palaces may not be completely or fully auspicious. And just now, as we look into our chart, as we refer to our chart, maybe let's say if I can bring this chart out, okay, or maybe not. Let's say, let me just bring this chart out. So let me just bring this chart out. Oh, sorry, I just want to. Sorry, okay, let me just bring this chart out. And okay, so let's say, for example, one more thing. No, Gabriel, this is not about this is not about your birth chart anymore. No, last week we no last week also we didn't. It's not about your plot chart as well. Because last week we look into asking question. So when you look into the question, you plot the chart at the time of the question. The time. And so for the previous method, we use the date of the day. No, that means our topic is not with regards to birth chart. Okay, yeah, that's right. It's on the current date. Therefore, it is the now. And so for the previous activity, we refer to the chart at the time of the asker. At the time of the asker. At the time of the asker. And for today's, it is about the immediate time. It will be about the immediate time. Therefore, if we are talking about, if let's say that the meeting is now, the meeting is now, it's right now. So you plot the chart of the now. You plot the chart of the now. As you plot the chart of the now, immediately, we want to, let's say, for example, let's go back to the session. The life door is one of earth element. Okay, so now, right now, let's say we refer to this chart. Where do you find the life door? Where do you find the life? So you find the life door. So you find the life door here. You find the life door. So you find the life door here, which is now on the northeast. So it's on the northeast direction. Correct. So if it's on the northeast direction and you are now in the room, so now if it's northeast direction, you're now in the room, and therefore you would want to be situated at the northeast of the room. So during the hour, so at the time for the hour, then you would like to be situated at the northeast of the room. Now, if the northeast of the room does not appear to be a place you can sit, I mean, let's say, for example, it would be very strange and odd for you to sit at the edge of the table. So it looks awkward. And therefore, this is where perhaps you may find that it is not possible. I mean, for example, as a presenter, perhaps the slide, the whiteboard or the slide is here. So the projector is here. So naturally, I have only this place to stand. There is only one direction to stand, which is here. And so in this concept, there is no choice for you to choose where you would be situated. Now, if you can, so the earlier sharing is you can plonk yourself there, arrive early, plot the chart one night before, and therefore you know exactly where to sit. Nowadays, if you have one of those smart watches, it tells you, I mean, even your phone will have a compass, so you will immediately know the direction, and you can more or less find yourself, position yourself in the proper place. But in this case, let's say if the whiteboard is there, the presentation is there, and you are the one doing the presentation, and this is where you want to activate the live door, but the live door happens to be at this direction, and therefore here, what you do, of course, is you come to this direction, where you face with your back, with the northeast at your back, and that is where you commence. So the commence, of course, it is a mental exercise. It is a mental exercise where you calm yourself down, maybe relax. Or sometimes I'll just shut my eyes and then just focus on the moment, and then I'll just say start, and then I'll just move. Or perhaps you can just start your speech there by greeting the people, good morning, hi, and then casually just walk to the front to where you would then spend your day. So this is how we can consider using the life door. Using the Now, if the life door is if the life door is inauspicious, because as you know, weakens wood weakens or control the earth element. Metal weakens the earth. And therefore here, occasionally, we may then find that if the life door is not auspicious, usually it is, usually it's more often than not, if you refer to casual use, casual. So casual means that every day, so every day I would do this. So therefore, it's just casual. So every day you just, so in this simple exercise, if it's just every day, just plot the life door and then just use it as it is. But of course, our today's topic is on career, and which of course we are now looking to activating the life door for career, as in using it to enhance the auspiciousness of your work, to be able to bring more energy to it using the life door. But of course, if let's say this is now a tremendously important meeting, so therefore this meeting is not your day-to-day usual, and so you may now want to spend a bit more time to make sure that it is more bulletproof than just simply using the live door all the time. So this is maybe sometimes it may be paired up with other inauspicious stuff, and so this is where you might then find that perhaps the open door will also be auspicious. Therefore, here we see that the live door is highly auspicious. But now we find that the open door is auspicious, and it is better. It is better. And open door, of course, has it means open. So to open means to start a business. So for starting a business or for seeking an official position. So coming back to our career focus, job interview. And so job interview, of course, would be not an ordinary meeting. You're not meeting clients or prospects. You are now meeting people for the first time to have the power, the authority, and the decision to then choose or to be part of your future career. It's an important job interview, let's say, and therefore you're seeking it and starting a business. So open door will be, so open door. So where is open door? So where is open door in this particular job? Where is open door in this particular job? So you'll find open door to be, so open door will be on a north. So open door is on the northwest. And here we find that the open door is metal. And right now, there itself, open door is on its natal palace, the palace of Qian, which is also metal. So that palace is metal, and open door is metal, indicating it's the natal chart. So it's a very good open door to start. In an open door to start, in this case, of course, again, yeah, of course, again, if you're referring to a job interview, and if you can find yourself putting yourself, once again, if I were to redraw the whole position, putting yourself into the north. But now it becomes a bit more tricky because in a job interview, you may be positioned outside. You may be positioned outside on the waiting room. Let's say this is the waiting lounge. And so you're position yourself waiting lounge, waiting to be called into the interview room. And of course, sitting down there in the lounge, you could very well bring out your compass and plot the chart and to know where is the auspicious location to commence. And of course, once you enter the room, if you're free, if you're free to position yourself, then do it. But of course, more often than not, this is not going to be easier. I mean, it would be tremendously strange if you can just walk behind the interviewer into one corner and activate or to start the interview there. Definitely, I'm sure it's not going to be something you can. But normally in this strategic location, we may be referring to the person outside. We're referring to the person outside the building. So when we are referring to the person outside the building, so this is where we will now consider. Now, once again, in all simplicity, we'll just ignore the actual location in the map. Ignore the actual location because otherwise it will be too this will take a bit too much time. So I'm just making it just a very simple illustration. And so basically, if let's say this is the building right now, if let's say this is the building right now, so if let's say this is the building in point, and again, locations are all the stereotype Chinese physics, south, north, west, and east. So I'll continue to maintain this direction, even though it is not the natural one for ordinary people. And so, of course, this is where the strategic location would be here. Therefore, you shall start here. You shall start here as you enter. Now, QiMen in the past is used for war strategies, to use as battle. And therefore, there are still more complicated areas like whether are you the guest or are you the host. And so, in this context, you are the guest. And perhaps in the ancient days, you can say the guest is and the attacker. The guest is the arriving party, while the host is the defender. And so if this is a battle strategy, then it will call for you to attack at this direction. Therefore, to use the correct formation, uh, to use the correct direction to attack, that was the use of QiMen during battles, during war strategy. And so now applying for the case of you securing a job, the open door, which is favorable at the hour, would be at the northwest. So therefore, you move towards the direction of the north. So maybe as it is, therefore, this is where we talk about the launching point, that you arrive from the north. Therefore, the use of your open door. Yes, to come from the northwest direction, Gabriel, correct. Yes. Or to come from the direction where it says there, the use of the open door. And of course, in the past, this may be not bad with the white tiger uh, for the guests to. All right. So open door is for launching a new product, applying for a job, securing new deals. And therefore, this would be a case whereby arriving at the. Now, and what happens if you are now playing the host? You are now playing defense. Or perhaps you are in a meeting to which this meeting is quite a nasty meeting. So let's say, or maybe let's say I'll just take a different room, for example. Again, so let's just take this room. Once again, even though this is a residential plot, we'll take it as an office. And so this is going to be a meeting whereby something has gone bad. Something has gone bad, and maybe the auditors are coming in. Maybe a hostile element is arriving, and to which, of course, uh, you are possibly one of the targets for a witch hunt, or perhaps you have to play defense, and so you would want to rest. You want to rest. So the rest door is defensive. The rest door is to hide. The rest door is to hide. And therefore, to hide, the use of the rest door is for stopping, gathering, resting, avoiding. And therefore, here you may want to move, you may want to wait. So indicating that uh, your idea is perhaps you would want to slow down, you want to delay, you would like the you would like the meeting or whatever call for action to be halted. Therefore, that would be the rest. And so here, as we look at the chart, where is the rest of? Where is the rest of? So you find that the rest door,
Hi, Andy.
yeah, thank you. The rest door
I
will be
saw
here.
that.
So what's it?
Be careful, it's going to.
Okay, all right. So therefore, the rest door will be, I don't know, quite a good formation. We do have the partner, so we do have the partnership. Therefore, okay, but later, okay, right now I'm not going to add more and more layers into it, because if I do add more and more layers, then it gets increasingly more complex. Because if we use this for mundane, it means you use this on a daily basis. So every day before your work meetings and everything is just therefore you can just use the first level. So the first level is just very simple: live door, rest door, open door. So these are the three doors to do. You want to be aggressive, open door. You want to play defensive, rest door. So therefore the guest and the host. And of course the live door is just the universal card. So normally you just start with the live door, unless later you suspect the live door is in a very inauspicious palace. Now, in all simplicity here, in this particular app, anything red would be auspicious, black is inauspicious. So if you find, I mean, look, without too much, without too much into this palace looks very dark. This palace looks tremendously very dark. Benjamin, every day. This is the chart of now. This is every 2 hours. Every 2 hours, the chart will change. Every 2 hours, the chart will change. Oh, there was one time. There was one time I was asked to present for a client. I was asked to present for a client, and it's quite an important one because it is about revision of tariff, and therefore I plotted the chart. I plotted the chart. I put myself into the favorable position, and then I waited for it. And you know what happened? The client came late because the client is an important VIP, and there was another meeting. And so the meeting was delayed by 1 hour. And of course, after 1 hour, the chart would have changed. And of course, once we plonk ourselves in a position and be ready for ourselves, it everybody is seated, and so it becomes extremely difficult for me to stand up and request, can we please all change position without any valid example. So, sometimes it is what it is. We can plan, but of course, the universe may have a different result for us. And so sometimes we can plan, but things may not always go to our direction. And so this is where occasionally we may find that every 2 hours the chart would change. The chart. Right. Okay. Right. So now here we refer to the three. So it's very simple. So this is a very simple application. The simple application is that these are the three doors. So before a job interview, before a meeting, every day, we can always find ourselves situated at this particular auspicious. Right. Well, therefore, that would be the first part. Now, of course, later on, we can also have other doors. Other doors that would be a little bit more risky to take it. Okay, now bottom line, the doors to avoid definitely will be the injury door, the death door, and the alarm door. Now, for beginners or for people just simply starting out to explore all this, just avoid them. Just avoid them. But of course, if you can learn more and more, they can also be used. All doors are usable. All doors are usable for all kinds of intention, all kinds of purpose. So death door, injury door can be used. Death door is quite good to use, especially for property. mm, Especially for property. But of course, more often than not, for determining burial ground for funeral, then the death door will be the door to look for. But in any case, right now we are just at a very today we are just here for career. So as we are here for career, then we are not going to explore the spectrum of all the doors due to time. So in every case, the three doors to refer to. So the three doors to refer to will always be the life door, the open door, and the rest door. But occasionally, the scenery door. The scenery door usually is a door to look good, a door to create illusion, the door to create an illusion. It's fire element sitting at the south, Li Kwa. And so it's also a door that can be good for involving strategy and a door as sometimes to accept or to receive office. So it's mostly a door to use for convocation. So in a way, if someone were to present an award to you, if someone were to give you a prize or to commendation, then that is the position to be in. So it enhances it enhances the attractiveness of it. So it gives you that flexibility. Okay, the stop door. So the stop door again is also a door tool. Right? Is for you to hide. Is for you to escape. Now this door in during the days of military strategies is basically the exit door. Of course, when an army fights, there are always possibility that you won't win. So if you lose the battle, then this would be your escape route. So plan B, just in case you don't win, this is where you exit. And therefore, by positioning yourself at the stop door is again a scenario where perhaps you are aware, you are under hit, you are under attack, and in that moment, you are not going to win. And so the stop door can be also used. Right. So therefore, these are mixed use door and specific door. So now we have the three auspicious door, two mixed door, and some of the inauspicious. Right. So therefore, that will be the first part into activation. So today's sharing is about execution. It's not about asking questions. It's not about asking what is the outcome, Today's sharing is about you trying to shape the outcome. You try to make the outcome as it is. As it is. And now we move on to another different approach, the activation of the nine stars. So first we refer to door. Now door is about people. Door is door is what we call the people plate. Door is what we call the people plate. People plate means when matters regard people. And so when you look for an employment, starting a business, all these are basically in relation to. Now the stars, they are in relation to the environment. They're in relation to the nature and to time. Now to do so here, as we refer to the nine stars, let's just come down immediately into the nine stars. Into now what we call the evidential occurrences. These evidential occurrences basically means asking for a sign, asking for a sign. Occasionally, when we pray for something, occasionally, when we try to manifest something, we would want the universe to reply to us. We want an answer. This is where sometimes people pray, please God, give me a sign. Am I making the right decision? And so to do so, the application of Qimen here is to observe your surrounding environment. So you're here to observe your surrounding environment, to look for signs of auspicious or inauspicious. And the purpose here is to consider whether these occurrences will confirm, whether it will be activated. And so the question is, how do you know? How do you know that it is activated? How do you know that your manifestation will indeed be realized? Therefore, this will be the case where we use the nine star evidential occurrences. Now, to do so here in a very particular moment. Now, every month is different, every time is different. We refer to the lead star of the chart. We refer to the lead star of the chart. And once you identify the lead star of the chart, then you have to travel in that direction. You have to travel in that direction, the prescribed hour, at the prescribed hour. Right. And here, for the month of October, for the month of the dog, for the month of the dog, for October. So remember, it's only for October. And again, October occurred according to the Chinese calendar, not the English Gregorian calendar October. And so according to the October, only for October, so bear in mind, only for October, the lead star is Heavenly Hero. The lead star is Heavenly Hero. And the auspicious time will be 2, the hour of the rabbit, or the hour of the dragon. Okay, now let's say, for example, tomorrow morning at the hour of the rabbit. Tomorrow morning at the hour of the rabbit. So on the 13th of October, in the hour of the rabbit. So what time is the hour of the rabbit again? 5 to? Okay, this is super crazy early for some of you. So if you can't make it, then well, too bad. So only at 5 to 7. So well, not really five sharp. So sometimes give or take. So normally we would to play safe, we will say 5:30. Most of the time we'll give half an hour just in case. Maybe it's 5:07, maybe it's 5:10. But I'm sorry, we don't have. I'm not going to bring out the calendar and to look into the date because it's just too much detail. So to play safe, we normally take 5:30. So we normally safe, and of course for the walk, so normally to 6:30. Then. Okay. All right. Okay. Therefore, normally you give a half an hour buffer in order to ensure that you truly have entered to the rabbit hour. Okay, so to enter a rabbit hour, where do you find the hero? Where do you find the heavenly hero? Here in this app, the heavenly hero is known as Fearless. Now, Fearless is not the most auspicious of all the stars, not the most auspicious. We would rather have Tianxin, the doctor, or the diplomat, or the advisor. But of course, the October, so we are referring to the October. So it's not really the best month, but we are making the best of what we have. So tomorrow, 5:30 to 6:30, be in your house, be in your house. And of course, usually there must be a sense of calm, and the heartbeat needs to drop to below 90 beat per minute. And in this particular far achievement, uh, you walk towards the direction. So where is the direction of the fearless? The direction of the fearless from 5:30 to 6:30 would be south. Would be south. So when it is south, then what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Where do you walk? Where do you? Of course, in the case of the south, then this is where you walk towards the direction. You walk towards the direction. As you walk towards the direction south to your house. Now it's gonna be quite a very large area, and in the days of the ancient, you do walk for some time. So if you can be ready to walk, I know it's not easy to it's not easy to recommend to people who have not walked in their lives before. But normally in the past, you can walk even 6 kilometers, 6 kilometers in that direction. So once again, if this is the house, if this is your house, and of course the southern direction, would entail to this particular area. And therefore, as we walk along, but of course, as we know, we need to be quite practical in the way that you do this. So perhaps due to the condition of the road, you may have to divert. You may have to diverge in a way or whatever in this direction. Okay. Therefore, as you walk along, perhaps 3 kilometers, 3 kilometers to and 3 kilometers back. Therefore, it can be quite some time. Walk through the hour. And so normally people don't do this for, trivial issue. They do look for some area. And what do you look for? What would you look? And so for the heavenly hero at the hour of the rabbit, you look for a person walking with a stick or holding a lamp. Now, of course, the ancient books will write about phenomena to which they interpret the elements and transform them into the following. Like for example, hero is nature element is fire, and therefore the book will give certain phenomena that may be in relation to fire. Now I'm sure if you do walk in the today's world, you are not going to find anybody with a lantern, with a stick perhaps, with a stick. But what modern manifestation do you think that can substitute or represents a lantern? I mean, if you walk between 5 to 7 today in October, uh, perhaps it's quite dark, so maybe it may be a torchlight. That's right, Jenny. That's right. They may be carrying a torchlight. It may be maybe a person running with a headlamp, blinkers on it. Therefore, that may also make. So perhaps you may want to experiment. You can always walk with your handphone, bring out a camera, and then you can. So as you walk, you may want to record your journey and then try to play along into this part. Or perhaps you may hear a boom being of a time. And so this activates the formation. So the answer is yes. The answer will be yes. And yes means what? You will receive a piece of property and you're able to make a fortune of it. But this is going to be moderate. No? So this hair is a moderate, it's not really like tremendous prosperity, but yeah, I think it's still good, isn't it? If you can find. And of course, if you walk the length, now, of course, once again, I mean, sometimes when you are, just when you are, I'm come on, right? I mean, if you just walk like 50 meters in and then you come back and say, oh, you saw nothing, that's not how it works, no? So so we're referring to quite a decent walk, a walk that completes, the walk that completes within the hour, within the rabbit hour. And if you don't find any manifestation, then essentially means no. Then no. Then the answer will be no. It has not been activated, and well, that's just the result. All right. So here now for the remaining months for this October. Therefore, that's the hour that you can practice. And if you do find that the hour of the rabbit is ungodly for you, you have never, maybe the last time you were awake at this hour was perhaps 3 years ago, catching a flight that you have no choice. Therefore, perhaps you may find that the dragon hour will be a little bit more amicable. And so the dragon hour will be from 7 to 9. And what observation will you make? So you'll notice a downpour in the northwest area. Perhaps as you are walking, you observe that the northwest area of your house, dark clouds were forming, water vapors will be found, or do you know that it's raining? Then this is activity. Or a a chicken taking cover on a tree. It can also mean a bird of any shape, a crow, or some form of flying animals that can take cover up in the tree, or a woman with a basket. So, a woman with a basket today may mean, of course, carrying something. Carrying. I mean, way back into the ancient days, women with a basket at this hour may mean walking towards the river to do laundry, carrying their laundry, or groceries from the market. So these are certain things you can see. And of course, if you have manifestation, then 7 days later, someone or animal will enter your house. So this is mostly a guest. But of course, it is a guest that must be uninvited. Because if you purposely arrange for somebody to come to your house, that's obviously not going to be the way it works. Or an animal, maybe a cat or a bird, they can just flew into your house. So now, as long as the animal doesn't die in the house, then it's normally auspicious. The formation is then active. And 60 days later, you'll receive blessing of wealth. And so that will be on the 13th of October on to using this. Now, if 13th of October, which is a Monday, is a working day and you have no time for it, then here we find ourselves on Wednesday 15th, also on the hour of the rabbit. Now, where do we find the fearless or hero? And so here you can find it, and then and this is quite a good formation. So you can find that you have your partner, Liu He, the sixth partner will be formation, and the rest door, these are auspicious. So these are quite an auspicious formation. And so on Wednesday, during the hour of the rabbit, and then of course you may then find yourself walking towards the north. Now, perhaps you are located in an area. Perhaps you are located in, now let's say, for example, here, perhaps in this example here, we can see that this may be a very, very big highway. We may be talking about a four carriageway each. And so if it's massive, it may be impossible or it may be impractical to walk at all. At all. And so perhaps in this case, then south is not going to open for you. So if south is not going to open for you, then tomorrow is not going to be a day that you can activate. And then perhaps it opens for you only to the east, only to the west, and of course maybe to the north. Therefore, in this sense, then tomorrow will not be a good time, a good day. And perhaps if you plot every day, if you plot every day in the month of the dog, you may even discover that absolutely none of the date fits. Well, then it is what it is. Therefore, that will be the case. And of course, this Saturday. So we find ourselves on, oh, sorry, I thought I have it, but I didn't plot. So anyway, the idea is to, so in a way, it means to plot the chart on tomorrow, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day. And by plotting the chart, then we can, of course, to be able to discover whether one can be able to activate or. All right. So are we clear on this? Or are there any other questions on how this can work for you? And of course, it is always every time we experiment on QiMen, it is always advisable to keep a diary, to keep a diary, uh, to record your experiences, to find whether you are able to find the phenomena that is mentioned and whether it affirms and whether you get those results. Therefore, people in the past uses QiMen for such activation. So this comes under strategic execution. They come into what we call when you ask for it. When you ask for it, when you seek to manifest, you want an answer. You want the universe to reply. And so the universe will reply by giving you natural phenomena for you to observe. And when you're able to observe those phenomena, and then that gives you the answer and the assurance of the events. All right, so with this, we'll come to the tail end of today and also the tail end, the completion of our career. And so in the next sharing, we will then open up a different topic then. All right. Okay, so thank you. Good night. So I will then see you somewhere in the future.